Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, the best thing about this is that you can tune in whenever you like. Number two, I am going to be here with you every step of the way. I do have a little diet thing going on. It's reminding me of a little show I love, Wendy Williams, which I am not trying to copy that. But okay, let's get to the point. Why are we here? Let me guess. You are interested in managing your anger. There can be several ways. You do not have to have an anger issue to want to manage your anger. I can't say anger issues. So you do not have to have anger issues in order to want to learn skills in order to practice anger management. So I have some notes here, but before I get into that, let me just introduce myself. I am trained and certified to teach anger management and provide documentation that may be needed if you are court appointed to take courses. Now, not everyone is interested in this because they are court appointed, but if you're not mandated to take courses, then I think that's even better. It can possibly prevent you from being in a situation where you may need to be forced to take a course like this. So let's get to it. It kind of feels weird talking to myself. It's very quiet. I think my neighbors are still sleeping, which is good. Which is good because I really don't want them to hear me. I want to make this fun. I want this to be interactive. And I've noticed so many courses online. They're like plain Jane and like the person is. It's kind of like watching an infomercial. You know, the guy's in the suit and he's talking at you, not to you, and it's just like very robotic. Or the courses you do not even see a human being. You're just listening to an AI, which is a like a computer speaking for them. And to me, that will definitely put me to sleep. That's torture. So in order for you to not be tortured, I decided, I want to be interactive. I'm going to insert clips into my courses so that it's like, hey, I might just do a little pop-up, like a pop-up quiz. I'm just gonna pop up and like, hey, how you doing and what's going on? Like, what are you working on and how far have you gotten, etc. So how are we all doing with Corona? Yeah. I think the main thing that we've learned since COVID, let's get the proper term, COVID-19. How are we all doing during the quarantine? Prior to COVID-19, there was some, I can say, I I would feel uncomfortable if I was in the market and I'm using my credit card, right? And before I can finish checking out, the next person's already, which I don't mind, they unloaded their groceries, but they're literally standing next to me while I'm still swiping. So in those cases, I would start to feel a little bit nervous and like, hey, you're my bubble. You know, I know we all heard of that term like bubble space. We all have our little bubble. So I think that would be a good first exercise. Try to determine what is your bubble. Well, I think now everyone's bubble is 6 feet. But before Corona or COVID-19, I think my bubble space, yeah, I don't know how many feet is that. I was never that great in math, but I did take every math course you can consider, like, um, whatever. I was never that good in math, but I've taken every single course in math that you can even think of, from statistics to calculus, inferential statistics. Yeah, it was crazy. I had no idea I had to take all those math classes, but it helped. It helped me work my brain, and I think that's a good thing. We need to. Where I thought this wasn't recording, I was gonna be like, we need to exercise our brain. We need to push ourselves and stretch our limits. Sometimes it's not fun. It's like discipline is never fun. It's never an exercise that I'm excited to do. Like, hey, today I'm going to have a spinach like smoothie drink, or I'm going to do 100 sit-ups, and I'm just looking forward to it. It just really doesn't always work like that, but I'm going to teach you skills that will allow you to come up with such discipline or disciplinary, I don't say task, but hmm, not goals, but something you will have to do on a weekly basis. And then at the end, you will treat yourself and you will feel good about it. So now going back to the bubble space, I think mine was probably, I don't know, probably not even 1 feet. I don't think I gotten too like nervous or upset if any. Okay, say, oh, that's a good one. I say within arms width. So whatever the ending point of my fingers, with my arms stretched out, I think that's my bubble. So then measuring a circumference, I would say that was my bubble space. So that's one good exercise for you. Try to determine what's your bubble space, and you can determine if somebody is in getting in your bubble space, and you start to feel anxious or you start to feel nervous, then you will have a plan as to what you will do next. What do you do after you feel like your bubble space is being violated? Do you A, do you react in a way that is aggressive or angry, or do you try to be a little assertive and just say, excuse me, like something like that? It may seem a little sarcastic, but sometimes a little sarcasm could go a long way, meaning that the person may not even realize that they're entering your bubble space, and then if you say something like in a jokingly sarcastic way, they may get it and they'll be like, oh yeah, like excuse me, and they'll just move out the way. But depending on the person, some people may get angry and snap back at you. So that's a whole nother case scenario if it becomes confrontational. Like, what do you do then? So, okay, I want you to think about the different things you would do and you could do. You could, you could like say something and be a little joke, like humorous about it, and maybe make a little joke so that they can get it and be like, oh wow, my bad. Yeah, I'm using some lingo here. So we're gonna make this fun. That's why I'm saying this is gonna be a fun course. It's not gonna be one of those like, okay, I can't judge, but it's not gonna be like stuck up like 3 piece. Oh, yeah, I may wear a suit too, but it's gonna be fun and loose, like wearing regular clothes. So okay, they're gonna say, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Excuse me." Okay, that's one way to do it. My Kardashian voice. A second way is to snap at them and like be like, "Hey, like what you doing?" Like, and then they could respond very aggressively, and then that's when it gets crazy. Another thing, you can just ignore it. It depends. Some days I have to have. I have one yesterday at the market. I don't understand. People do that. Okay, this is one thing that really pisses me off, and I'm gonna use the word piss off instead of, oh, it makes me upset or makes me angry. No, it pisses me off. I'm in the market, and the owls are big enough for one cart to go this way and one cart to go this way. So why is it every time down the aisle somebody happens to stop here and looking at the canned foods, and then the person coming the opposite way, they stop right there too. So they're literally blocking the aisle. Why can't they just stop down here so you have, a way to wiggle around? Every single time they're like parallel. I just don't get it. Why they do that? Like, can't you see? You have two eyeballs. Obviously, you're here shopping. You can see your surroundings that you're blocking out. Like, why are you blocking the owls? And so I had to say something, and then the lady was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like something like that. So she was really trying to engage into a conversation because I had to say, like, excuse me, like where's the common sense? Some people may not have it, so in that case, I just laughed and I literally laughed it off because I was not gonna let it upset me, or I wasn't gonna like engage in in a conversation or discussion about it. It's just like, hey, like leave some space for people to pass by and end the story. So, okay, cases like that definitely is not worth it because little interactions like that could ruin your day, especially if it's in the morning. That's the worst. You do not want to start your day off like that. It can really throw your whole day. It can cause you like heart increase, like heart rate, and depending, I don't know if you have anxiety, it can trigger an anxiety attack or a panic attack, and then it'll just like have you all like super hyper vigilant, and it could really ruin your entire day. And could you imagine after that getting in the car, driving, and you're pissed off over this person you're arguing over the aisle, like something petty, and then you get immediately into another confrontation with somebody driving. So now we have a road rage incident, which brings me to the discussion. Not saying it was road rage, but it was said that Tiger Woods left very agitated when I don't know where he was. Maybe he was at a country club. He was on his way to the country club, or he left the hotel. But the case is that they said he left. He was in an agitated state. He was upset or he was angry about something. We did not know what happened prior to him leaving. Not saying that he had a road rage incident. I don't know what happened. That hasn't been determined. But the fact is that he got in the car while he was angry. And then what happened? Something tragic. Thank God he's alive and made it through, and he has injuries, but he can recover from it. The issue is that this is how dangerous it is, and how it could be, driving while you are upset. And so that's the last thing I want you to do. All because something could have triggered him. Maybe somebody was standing too close to him while he was checking out of his. This is the case scenario because I do not know where he was leaving from. Maybe he was staying in a local hotel and he had to leave, and maybe I don't know, the bail guy was taking too long. He got upset. Maybe somebody was standing too close to him. Maybe there was some paparazzi and something triggered him. So with that, we're going to talk boundaries. So that would be official. So this was a very unofficial introduction, but the first lesson that will be discussed will be boundaries. I want you to make a list of boundaries. I'm going to do this with you. Now, I have to be very careful. I cannot reveal everything about myself, can I? You shouldn't know too much about your teacher. But okay, here are some examples I wrote in my course. For the course, this can apply to anyone. One can be somebody yells at you, the way they yell at you, someone's trying to challenge you, and something, for example, you have a friend. This is a very common one. I have friends that complains to me about their friends that are taking advantage of them, who's borrowing money. So that's one main thing about boundaries. You have to have like clear boundaries with friends, especially those who like to borrow things. I've never really liked those kind of friends. It's like, hey, get your own kind of thing. I never borrowed anything either from you. I don't know. I think it's just a personality thing that either you do it or you don't. And that's something I never done. I always try to find a way to get it myself. So one could be like boundaries in relationships, maybe cheating, and some can be work. Are you being taken advantage of at work? Are you getting more of a load than what you should? Are you not getting proper breaks? Oh my God, that was something that happened to me in my last job. They were really taking advantage of me, not getting proper lunch breaks, not getting breaks at all. And when I wanted a break, they would look at me crazy, like, yeah, like seriously. And when I'm eating, and they're looking at me like, what do you think you're doing? And I've been already working like 8 hours. I was working 12-hour shifts. And I swear, when it was time for me to take a break, it was like they were astonished. And I can't believe I put up with that. But there were some things, a lot of things I dealt with, but I think it actually helped make me stronger. So I guess in a way I could say I'm not too mad about it, but in a way I wish I haven't experienced all those things because I think a lot of the situations that I was involved in with my work was pretty abusive. but yeah, I'm applying it now and I think it's make me stronger. And now I know to not put myself in a situation anymore. So with that, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, about 15 minutes, and I will see you soon. Don't forget your homework. Make a list of boundaries, 3 to 5 things, and that will trigger you, or 3 to 5 things that you would say are um, boundaries that you would prefer people not violate. And it can be anything from like in the store, or it can be related to relationships or family, or it can be related to your job. It doesn't have to be one specific thing, but I want you to make a list of 3 to 5 things, and we will go over it next time.